Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my review of the iRobot Roomba i7 Plus robot vacuum with automatic dirt disposal. So there are a lot of automatic vacuums out there. The reason we chose this iRobot Roomba is because of its ability to empty the dustbin itself and also to return to the dirt disposal dock, or the clean base as they call it, and it also charges itself as needed. This was important to us because we knew that we wanted to be able to run this vacuum mainly when no one was home, and we'd hate to return home only to find that the job had stopped because the bin was full of dirt or the vacuum had died and was stuck in the middle of the room needing to be charged. This video is not sponsored. All opinions are from my own personal experience or directly from iRobot's website. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I just wanted to go over what's in the box. In the box, you're going to find the actual Roomba vacuum itself, the dustbin tower with the charging base. I've also heard it called the dirt disposal dock or the clean base, whatever it is, this little black tower that you see here. And then also you're going to have a cord for that charging station, and you're going to have a box of accessories. In this accessory box, you're going to find 2 bags for the dustbin, an extra filter, an extra edge or corner sweeping brush, and an extra lighthouse. Now this little device allows you to set up virtual barriers, but more on that later. The iRobot Roomba i7 Plus has 3 buttons on the top, one to send it home, one to start cleaning, and one for spot cleaning. There's an LED glow ring around the clean button that will glow in different colors and different patterns just depending on the situation. It pulses white when it's charging on its base. It glows blue when it's returning to the home base, and it turns red when the battery is low and it needs to go back to the base to charge. This model does have a camera that helps with the sensor system, and so it's said that it may not work very well in the dark, but we typically use this when we're not home during the day. All the lights are turned off. Now, you do have some light coming from the windows. That is most of the time when I use my Roomba, and I haven't had any issues with this feature not being able to find its way or getting lost in the dark or anything like that. The clean base / dirt tower has an LED light on the front that will flash different colors as well, and it flashes in different patterns for different situations. It turns red when the bag is full or if the bag is missing from the base. It blinks red if there's some type of clog, and it will pulse white when it's charging the Roomba. So on the actual robot vacuum itself, you have this corner brush which helps to clean the corners of the rooms and your baseboards and things like that. And then you also have a front case wheel. This little wheel swivels around and allows the vacuum to move around freely. And then also on the bottom, you have these 2 green rubber rollers. These 2 multi-surface brushes work into conjunction to actually clean your floors. So to set up your iRobot Roomba i7 Plus, what you're going to do is take everything out of the box and go ahead and set the charging station in an area where the Roomba can easily get off the charging station when it's ready to clean, and go ahead and allow it to start charging. So while your Roomba is charging, go ahead and download the iRobot Home app and make an account, or if you have one already, go ahead and sign into your existing account. Once your Roomba has finished charging, you can connect it to the app by putting your Roomba vacuum into pairing mode by pressing and holding down the home and spot cleaning buttons simultaneously for 2 seconds. You will hear a tone and see a ring around the clean button that confirms the Roomba is now in pairing mode or connecting to your Wi-Fi. Go into the app and press the 3 little lines, which is called the hamburger tab, and select Add a Robot. And then the app will walk you through the process of connecting to your home's Wi-Fi network. Now, when it comes to actually getting your iRobot to start cleaning, there are a couple of ways that you can do this. The first way is that you can actually just press the clean button on the top of your Roomba, and it'll power up and just immediately start vacuuming. Alternatively, you can actually go into the app and click the virtual clean button. So this will actually allows you to be away from home and set your Roomba to go ahead and start cleaning. But if you want to get the most benefits out of your Roomba, you're going to want to go ahead and set up the smart mapping. So inside the app, you can set schedules for your Roomba to start cleaning, and there's a lot of different customizable features for this. You can actually allow your Roomba to go ahead and start mapping out your house as it vacuums instead of having to map out the house ahead of time. The way that you're going to do this is you're just going to go into your iRobot Home map, and you're just going to click the Smart Maps button, and it actually will start mapping as it cleans. Now, iRobot says that if you map your house this way, it'll take about 4 full cleaning cycles for the robot to learn your home. Personally, we tried this feature out out. And we found it extremely frustrating because we did ours. It had to have been at least 5-6 times or more, and our entire house still was not mapped out because it was, working its way around obstacles. And so also vacuuming at the same time would cause the battery to die super quickly. And so it would have to go back to the charging base, which was all the way across the house, and then come back out and start over every time after it fully charged. So I prefer the second option for this, which is to go ahead and use the training run method. Now, this method is much faster because it doesn't try to vacuum while it's mapping the house. And what this does is it conserves the battery. And so it allows for the Roomba to map your house a lot more effectively and efficiently by just running through, kind of finding out where everything is and creating the map on the app for you. Once you have your home mapped out, then you can go ahead and add dividers between the rooms, and then you're able to label the rooms in the app. And this all comes in handy for future scheduling. Once you have this all set up, you can set the vacuum to clean at any random time of your choosing. You can set for one certain time, or you can create a schedule to have it run and clean certain rooms on certain days or times. When and how you schedule your iRobot Roomba i7 Plus to clean is totally customizable to you. I have my Roomba set on a schedule to run every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right as I'm leaving the house to go bring my kids to school. So by the time I drop them off, go to the gym, and return home, my vacuuming has already been done for me. So because we rarely are in our upstairs area, we only use our Roomba for the downstairs. But according to iRobot's website, the Roomba actually can remember up to 10 different floor models. So this comes in handy for those of you who have multi-level homes and want to be able to have the entire house mapped out. I believe this was a new feature at the time that this model was released, but that's been about 4 years now. So I would assume that any models newer than this one should definitely have that feature as well. The iRobot Roomba i7 also has sensors to keep it from getting tangled up on cords and fabrics, like if you have long hanging curtains that drag the ground. And from our experience, this feature works really well. We allow ours to go under our TV stand, and we don't have any issues with it getting tangled up on any of the power cords or anything like that. However, we did have a couple of instances where the iRobot could not figure out a certain area, like it kept unplugging our Wi-Fi cord. So while it wouldn't get hung up on it, it would hit it just hard enough to unplug the Wi-Fi from underneath the cabinet. And we also have this chair with a rounded edge on it that the iRobot could not figure out. It literally would sit there for 10 minutes trying to get over this rounded edge on the bottom of the chair. But never fear, it seems like iRobot has thought of everything, and there is a fix for this situation as well. So if you go into the settings on the iRobot home, you're actually able to put a no-go or keep out zone, and you can actually just drag and drop a box around the area that you don't want your Roomba to even go to, and it'll completely avoid that area. So we actually did this with the chair and our area where our Wi-Fi is, and it completely fixed that problem for us. We found this feature extremely helpful over Christmas. When we dropped our tree in the middle of the living area, we were able to just drag and drop a box, and that way our Roomba was able to easily just completely ignore and go around the Christmas tree. We also love using this feature for our closets because we don't want to have to worry about making sure there's nothing on the floors of the closet every single day, but we also don't want to have to remember to close the closet doors. So we make our closets a no-go zone as well, and that works amazing for us. As I mentioned earlier, you do get this little wall barrier that comes with your system, and this allows you to set up virtual barriers so the iRobot doesn't enter certain areas. You can block off doorways. Sometimes people will have a tricky situation where their iRobot, seems to want to go in an area that it shouldn't. This wall barrier comes in handy for that. But me personally, I feel like for my uses, the no-go zone that you can set in the app has made this little virtual barrier thing kind of obsolete for me. So we've actually never taken it out of the box or used it because this other feature has basically done all the things for us. The wall barrier also, you can set a circular perimeter. There's a lot of cool features on that. But again, I feel like the no-go zone feature in the app has taken care of all of the issues where we would have previously used this device. So in the app, there's a lot of information. If you're a data person, you can look and see how your Roomba's been cleaning, how many times you've run it, all those different things if you want to look at that for maintenance issues or just for kicks and giggles, if you're a nerdy person like that. All that data is in there for you. You can also see, like, if your iRobot Roomba i7 Plus gets stuck under a bed or something, instead of having to go around the house and hunt for it, you can check on your app and it'll show you exactly where your Roomba got stuck. I've had mine get stuck under our bed a couple of times because of a toy that my kid left out, and it was stuck between the bed and the toy and it couldn't get out. And so this feature is coming in handy for that. So a couple of other noteworthy things to talk about. The battery life on this lasts about 25 minutes. And if that's not enough time to completely vacuum the entire area you want it to vacuum, don't worry, because it will sense when it gets low and go back to the charging port or clean base, whatever you want to call it. As I mentioned earlier, that's one of the selling points for us with this machine, is the fact that it can just go to the home base, charge itself, and go back out to whatever room it was currently working on. It will remember and just resume the job. According to iRobot, the dust bag can hold up to 30 bins of debris or about 60 days worth of cleaning, which I found it to be pretty accurate. It can hold at least that much. Like I previously said, we have ours run about 3 times a week. We've been using it for about 6 months or so now, maybe a little bit longer, and we've only had to change the bag about 2 times. Now, of course, this is going to vary based on how much traffic you have in your home and how often you run your Roomba and all of that fun stuff, but I think it's just interesting to note that you're not going to have to worry about like needing to change the bag every single week or something crazy like that. So on my previous reviews of machines, I commonly get asked how loud it is. The Roomba is much quieter than your typical vacuum. But when it goes back to the home base and empties out, that's pretty loud by comparison to the volume of the actual vacuum itself. I would say it's at least as loud as your traditional upright vacuum cleaner when it's emptying, but I would say that takes less than 30 seconds to complete, so it's really not super noisy overall. The actual Roomba itself is a little bit quieter than my handheld Dyson cordless vacuum. Another feature that I have not used but I find worth mentioning is the iRobot Roomba i7 Plus does allow you to have voice control by connecting to your at-home digital assistant, and it's compatible with the Google Assistant and the Amazon Alexa, or Echo as we call ours, since we have a Alexa in the house. So I have a couple of quick tips for you guys. Make sure that you're regularly checking the bottom of your vacuum and keeping the wheels free of debris. Now, this may or may not be obvious to you depending on who you are, but if you don't check the wheels, it'll be obvious pretty quickly. If you're like me and you shed hair, you have kids that shed hair, there's hair on the floor everywhere, you'll very quickly run into an issue where it gets stuck or it has an issue, and when you roll it over, you'll find hair stuck to the bottom. Just like traditional vacuums, hair seems to be a little bit of an issue. Now, the good thing about the iRobot Roomba i7 Plus is that they've made it super easy to clean. All of your maintenance info can be found in the manual, but a few quick tips on maintenance and how important it is. This front casing wheel, it actually pops out super easily to clean, so if you're not able to remove the hair how it is, you can pop it right out and remove hair. These 2 rubber multi-surface brushes also pop out super easily so that you can remove anything that maybe gets stuck in them, like small toys or your toddler socks, which, like I said, happens a lot at our home. And so far, it has always been a super easy fix for me to just either pull the socks out, or if I need to pop a wheel out because it's stuck in there really good, I can easily do that, replace it. And for someone who gets super frustrated with technology very easily, I'm telling you guys, it's not difficult, so you can trust that you shouldn't have a problem. You may also want to wipe down the vacuum and the base periodically. Obviously, they're going to get dusty, and you may want to take the bin out and rinse it from time to time. So as long as you're checking it, it'll be pretty obvious what needs to be cleaned on it, but also are actually supposed to change the filter every 2 months, which I definitely have not done. And so this video was a really good reminder for me when I started researching some of the maintenance stuff. I didn't realize that, so I need to go and check mine. So far, I haven't had any issues, but you are supposed to replace the multi-surface brushes, the caster wheel, and the edge sweeping brush every single year. And I mean, obviously, again, this will depend on the wear and tear you put on your individual Roomba. That is the recommendation that iRobot has set out on their website. So if you start to notice that your Roomba is not getting in the corners very well, or maybe it's starting to be squeaky and seem like it's having problems, that's probably the best place to start, is with seeing if any of your brushes or wheels need to be replaced. So one common question that you get about these kind of vacuums is, how well do they clean under your furniture. So when we first got our iRobot Roomba i7 Plus, it passed easily under all of the furniture that we had at the time, but we ended up actually going and getting a different couch, which was a sectional, and not even thinking about it, it was much lower to the ground, and our Roomba can no longer pass under the couch. Now, luckily my husband works in design, and he 3D printed me some risers for the bottom of my couch, and so now ours will go underneath there. But if that is a concern for you, you definitely will want to measure the opening under your furniture before you get your Roomba. All of the measurements and all of that is on the website. It should be on the listing for wherever it is that you go to purchase. So now we get to the most important part, which is how well does the iRobot Roomba i7 Plus actually clean? First off, let me say this is my very first ever automatic vacuum, so I don't have any knowledge of other automatic vacuums to compare it to. The only thing I have to compare it to is traditional upright corded or cordless vacuum cleaners. That being said, the reason we got the iRobot Roomba i7 Plus was because we moved to a home with zero carpet, and this was the first time we had ever lived in a home with zero carpet. And so we quickly realized how much dirt and grime your carpet actually usually catches, because we felt like our feet were constantly dirty and we could never keep up with the amount of traffic coming in and out. And so it felt like even if I cleaned daily, the floors were always a mess. And that's why we just personally decided to start looking into getting an automatic vacuum cleaner. Okay. So what has our experience been? Well, over the last 6 months of using the iRobot Roomba i7 Plus, we have been running about 3 times a week, like I said, and we haven't felt the need to do anything else other than daily spot cleans in the kitchen and dining room areas where my toddlers are eating multiple times a day, and using the iRobot Roomba i7 Plus as our primary source of cleaning the floors. We always feel like our floors are mostly clean, and since that's what we purchased it for, we are completely happy with it. So I would definitely say that the clean we get with it is comparable to our cordless Dyson that I typically use on a daily basis. Another common question with automatic vacuums is how well they clean in the corners. Now, of course, nothing automatic is going to clean as well as yourself with, a hand brush or something like that. But the corners actually have gotten pretty clean. I've actually been surprised with how well it does the corners. I will say in the kitchen from time to time, there is a little bit of buildup in the corners. It doesn't do as well in that area because of some rugs and stuff that I have in there. But overall, the rest of the house, I haven't had any issues. And since the kitchen is an area that I do clean 1 to 3 times daily anyway, I'll either just go ahead and take care of the corners then, or if I know the vacuum's about to run, I'll just sweep the corners out into the middle of the floor so that I'm certain the Roomba will catch that dirt on its next pass. This iRobot Roomba i7 Plus with cleaning base is definitely an investment, so it may not be for everyone. I personally got mine during a Prime Day sale, and so I saved over 50% on it. And since it is an older model, you probably can find it on sale. So if price is a concern, definitely check around Black Friday during the summer when Amazon does like their Prime Day deals and stuff like that, and you're more than likely able to find some type of deal on one of these Roombas. But overall, if you are the most concerned with saving time and kind of just using it for the purpose like what I have it for, just to have your home stay a certain level of clean all the time without much effort on your part, then I definitely think you will love the iRobot Roomba i7 Plus. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you enjoy all things homemaking, cleaning, organization, decluttering, all that fun stuff, go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notification bell, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.
Actually ask you to name your robot.
Kinsey, what do you want to name her?
I want to name
the robot.
I want to name the robot Go.
No.
Kinsey, you said you want to name
What do
her.
you want to name the robot?
Cleaner.
What?
Cleaner.
Cleaner?
Yeah. I want to name him that too. Go Cleaner.
Go cleaner. All right.
Go Cleaner, go.